Windbreaker Season 2 Episode 2 began immediately where the last episode left off, seeing Renkaji go to confront and fight the apparent leader of KEEL. Officially released on Thursday, April 10, 2025, the installment excitingly saw the full conclusion of the KEEL fight, with Renkaji's true nature also being revealed in the process. Windbreaker Season 2 Episode 2 also continued to focus on several plotlines from the first episode, one of the main ones being Haruka Sakura's frustration with himself. This stemmed from his inability to realize his role as a grade captain, which the arrival of Kaji and others helped him realize in the season premiere's events. Windbreaker Season 2 Episode 2 began with a focus on Renkaji, who confronted the apparent leader of the KEEL group. The leader lectured Kaji about their being similar and how he thought they'd get along, with Kaji silently listening the whole time. The leader continued to say fear is the best way to gain power over others, calling being feared the best feeling. He assumed Kaji felt the same way, likewise asking why he and the Bofurin pretend to be good people. He asserted that Kaji belonged on his side, saying Kaji should join KEEL if he beat him as he was introduced as Shingo Natori. Kaji interrupted him here, saying that people like him had no right to talk about Furin. Focus then shifted to Haruka Sakura's fight against Takuru Kongo, with Kongo growing worried at Sakura's sudden change in demeanor. He ordered some fodder to charge at him, with Sakura swiftly and effortlessly dealing with them. Windbreaker Season 2 Episode 2 then saw Sakura approach Kongo, who was clearly terrified and knocked out with a single punch from Sakura. As he challenged some KEEL bystanders, focus shifted to Taiga Tsujura's fight against Shiyu Kirishima. Taiga said the hits he was taking were his atonement, as he was both unable to support his classmates and had to be saved by his upperclassmen. Kirishima angrily threw a punch as focus shifted to Kyotaro Tsujishita. His opponent, Taishir Mogami, said he was starting to get bored of Tsujishita's toughness and wanted to end this. Each dodged some attacks from the other until Mogami landed a kick by spinning on the wooden plank he was wielding. However, Tsujishita caught his feet as focus returned to Tsujura, who had caught Kirishima's fist. As each counterattacked, they began getting more into the fight and looking more like themselves while trading subsequent blows. Windbreaker Season 2 Episode 2 saw each deliver knockout blows to their opponents shortly afterwards, with focus then shifting to Mitsuki Kiryu's fight against Renji Kaga. The two initially traded verbal jabs before Kaga rushed at Kiryu, asking him why he isn't embarrassed for being wimpy and girly. Kiryu was unbothered by this until Kaga began talking about the weak having to follow the strong. Kiryu then said he must be way too exhausting for girls and was an embarrassing person. Realizing he hit a nerve, Kiryu continued to point out that Raga was weak since he was following someone else's orders. This incented Raga to attack in even more of an uncoordinated frenzy while trying to justify why he wasn't weak. Kiryu then called Raga an ignorant frog living in a well, before quickly ending the fight with two light but well-placed hits. Windbreaker Season 2 Episode 2 then shifted focus to Takashi Inamoto and Yuto Kusumi helping out the general Bofurin fighters. Sakura also began lending a hand, clearly still upset it took him so long to realize his priorities and play his role. He then met up with Tsujura, Kiryu, Inamoto, and Kusumi, warning all not to let their guards down despite the battle swinging into their favor. He added to shout if they needed help and that he'd make sure he's there next time, which impressed Inamoto and Kusumi. They all then charged into battle, where Hayato Sua's opponent Hansuki Tone landed at Sakura's side after Sua sent him flying. A calm but clearly angry Sua approached Tone without saying a word to Sakura, glaring at his enemy all the while. Tone tried throwing a punch but Sua knocked him out with a strong kick to the nose. Windbreaker Season 2 Episode 2 saw Sua go to throw additional punches but Sakura stopped him. Sua commented on being irritated at how KEEL treated them, to which Sakura said he was also upset but at himself. This clearly resonated with Sua, who then returned to his normal disposition and applauded the truth of Sakura's words. As Sua walked away, he looked back at Sakura and said he truly was no match for him. Focus then shifted back to Kaji's fight, where he was on the defensive but managing to get some hits in. Natori commented on Kaji looking like he wanted to go berserk, saying that his true beastly nature makes him unfit to be a hero. Kaji agreed as a brief flashback began showing that Kaji often loses control of himself in a fight. While Notori celebrated this, Kaji commented on how his inability to control these urges made him feel inhuman. Windbreaker Season 2 Episode 2 saw him implicitly credit Toma Hiragi, Hajime Yumimiya, and others for teaching him how to be a human before asking who KEEL's true leader was. Notori ignored this, instead promising to make Kaji a beast as nature intended him to be. Kaji took control of the fight briefly, but Notori eventually cornered and began beating him. This caused Kaji's demeanor to change, seemingly starting his transformation into the beast he spoke of. Two traded heavy blows briefly before Kaji knocked Notori out, who was happy to see Kaji like this. Kaji regained control of himself after, with the Bofurin's victory fully achieved. Windbreaker Season 2 Episode 2 ended with Anze and Nagato speaking briefly and reconciling their differences thanks to Sakura's and Kaji's help. Windbreaker Season 2 Episode 2 primarily deserves commendation for its simultaneous and effective development of several characters including Sakura, Kaji, and Suwa. Animation studio Cloverworks balances this focus with satisfying action that also fully concludes the fight against KEEL for now. Likewise, with Kaji's words teasing other members of KEEL hiding in the shadows, fans can expect these hidden foes to begin revealing themselves in the coming weeks. The following contains major spoilers for Windbreaker Season 2 Episode 3 and beyond. If you haven't watched the episode yet and wish to avoid spoilers, please stop reading now. The episode begins with the aftermath of the intense street fight between Bofurin and KEEL from the previous episode. While Bofurin celebrates their victory, there's an underlying tension as they realize that KEEL wasn't just a random gang. They're more organized and dangerous than they first thought. KEEL, led by the calm and calculating Sasuke Kaji, was testing Bofurin's weaknesses. Kaji's approach isn't one of brute strength. He's focused on psychological warfare. Rather than rushing into another physical confrontation, Kaji decides to attack Haruka Sakura, knowing that he's a key figure within Bofurin and has a lot of emotional turmoil. KEEL begins spreading false rumors about Haruka, insinuating that he's only with Bofurin for his own benefit to rise in status, rather than genuinely supporting their cause. This rumor starts to spread quickly, and even Haruka himself begins questioning his own motives. He's always been a lone wolf, and the idea of belonging to a group has been foreign to him. Now, with doubts planted in his mind, he wonders if he's just using Bofurin for his own personal gain rather than being a true part of the team. As Haruka's emotional conflict grows, Suwa, another key member of Bofurin, notices Haruka's unease. In a quiet but powerful scene, Suwa pulls Haruka aside and reassures him. He reminds Haruka that trust is built over time, and that Bofurin doesn't expect him to be perfect, but rather to stay true to himself. Suwa's words offer a sense of clarity to Haruka, who starts to realize that the true strength of Bofurin lies not just in physical fights, but in their unity and brotherhood. Haruka's personal doubts start to subside as he regains his sense of purpose and belonging within the group. Meanwhile, Sasuke Kaji continues to observe Bofurin's movements from afar, biding his time. He's not in a rush to engage in another direct confrontation, as he knows that the real way to break Bofurin is to target their leader, Yumimiya. Kaji believes that if Yumimiya, the core of Bofurin, is taken down, the entire group will crumble. He's already planning his next move, targeting Yumimiya at his most vulnerable. Kaji's strategy is clear: weaken the foundation and the rest will fall. The episode ends on a suspenseful note, with Bofurin unaware of the storm that's about to hit them. Sasuke Kaji's plans are set in motion, and it's clear that the true battle between Bofurin and KEEL has only just begun. The psychological tension is building, and Haruka's journey of self-discovery and loyalty to Bofurin is about to be put to the ultimate test. And that's it for today's breakdown. If you enjoyed the analysis, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more spoilers and episode insights. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think will happen next? Until then, stay tuned for more Windbreaker updates.